Hello everybody, welcome back to Max Reviews, and today I just wanted to do a video on streaming services in general and what's on them and movies that are coming out from them and how it looks like things are going to go in the future for streaming services, because Netflix, Disney Plus's big battle's been going on, and then we also have the smaller streaming services coming up, so we're going to be doing a dive in, talking about each one of them, each streaming service, what they have, what they don't have, what they're lacking, if I really enjoy them or not. So I'm Brayden, this is Max Reviews. Welcome everybody to Max Reviews. Okay, so when we're talking about streaming services here, I'm going to be talking about the main 8 streaming services that we have here. And when I'm saying the 8, first we have Paramount Plus, we have Peacock, we have Apple TV Plus, we have Hulu, we have Netflix, we have Prime Video, HBO Max, and Disney Plus. Now, we live in a time where streaming services are very prevalent, and for streaming services, I have seen quite a few of the originals. I don't really have all of them. I get them from time to time. It's a bit mixed up unless it's Netflix or Disney Plus. So, first we're going to be talking about the smaller streaming services, Paramount Plus, Peacock, Hulu, Apple TV Plus, and then we're going to be talking about Prime Video and HBO Max and what's going on there, and then the big clash, Disney Plus faces Netflix, and what's going on there with their originals, their movies, their catalog of films. I'm not going to be really talking about the setup of the streaming services, but mostly just the movies that are on there. And so starting us off right here, we're going to start with Apple TV Plus. Now, Apple TV Plus, just, I really haven't seen that much at all on the Apple TV Plus. I think I've only seen one thing, and that's Coda. And I've heard quite a few things about it, but if you check out their catalog of movies on Apple TV Plus, there's not really anything there. If I go through the movies or see like ads for it or check out what's on it, there's nothing really there. And their originals aren't really there either. There's nothing there. But sometimes they come out with these really good movies like Coda, which won Best Picture. And I really enjoyed it. It was like a 9 out of 10 for me, maybe 9.5. But they don't really have a whole bunch more than that. It's just, hey, they had Coda. And then what else do I think about Apple TV Plus? Absolutely nothing. There's nothing on there, really. Their originals, whenever they come out with them, I think they're pretty good. I enjoy them. But I don't really watch a whole bunch of them because there isn't a whole bunch of them that interest me. And then even their catalog of movies, they don't really own the rights to many movies. So it's just, there's nothing there. And so I gotta say, Coda was good. It was really good, but other than that, there isn't really anything to talk about here. I don't have much to say about it because there isn't really anything there at all. And if I feel like maybe they keep giving these good, talented actors, actresses, and directors money, like with Coda, and they keep making these good movies. Maybe they'll get a bit more recognition, but they just need to make more. Next one here, we're going to be talking about Peacock. Now, the good thing about Peacock is they have the free version where you could just get regular Peacock for free. And I immediately got it, checked it out, what's on there. And they have an actually pretty good catalog of movies here. You get to check out their stuff. If you're just scrolling through, they had Warrior on there, a movie that I wanted to check out a while ago. They had the Home Alone movies on there. They had Halloween movies on there. They had I think they had the Jurassic Park movies on there at one time, and they just have a pretty good catalog of movies. I haven't really watched a whole bunch on there, though, because I'm just like, oh, that movie, it's cool, maybe I'll check it out. They had the Harry Potter movies on there. The whole advertising thing in the beginning was they had Harry Potter, and then they didn't have Harry Potter, and then they got it back again, so a bit confusing there, but Harry Potter's on there, so you could check out that, and then they also had Halloween Kills. It came on there if you got Premier Access. And so the Premier Access, I've never really felt the need to get. But for the free stuff, what you see for the catalog and stuff, they have a pretty good catalog of movies. But I don't even think I can name one original movie from Peacock or show or anything. I could just think of, even when you see their ads, there isn't really anything there that they're like Peacock originals. There's nothing there. So they're sort of like the opposite of Apple TV Plus, where they have a great catalog, but they don't really have anything that's great for originals, whereas Apple TV Plus has great originals and nothing in the catalog. So, Peacock is another one of those that I don't really check out that much. Like, I'll go through and be like, huh, okay, they got that on there, they got that in there. I'll do a quick binge through, check out what's in there, and then maybe I'll pick out something and watch, but not usually. So Peacock really, I think they need better originals, and I don't think they have enough money to come up with something very big. Next one we're going to be talking about here, Paramount Plus, which originally was CBS All Access. And Paramount Plus, they really had nothing until the new Halo show came out, I think a month or two ago. And that came out, and that's sort of the only thing on Paramount Plus that I've really found to be any good. Because they had Rumble on there. Their catalog is fine. It doesn't have a whole bunch there. They have a bunch of Star Trek shows, but I'm not a Star Trek fan, so I don't really check that out. But the Halo show's been fine so far. I would give it like 7 out of 10 where we are right now. So, that's like their main thing that when I think Paramount Plus, now I'm thinking the Halo show. So, it's fine right now, but, it might get better, it might get worse. So, that's sort of the only thing that's really carrying Paramount Plus for me. Next one on this list is going to be Hulu, which they have this whole thing where they're like, Hulu has live sports, and then it's like, no, you need to pay $60 to get live sports. So, my family watches a lot of football, well, NFL football, and we watched Hulu when it had the live sports. We got like the free trial thing, and we checked it out, and we love sports. We'll check it out on Hulu every once in a while. But other than that, the catalog's fine, and the originals are fine, but there's not that many amazing things on there. Like, there isn't a whole bunch on there at all that everybody's talking about. Deep Water came out on there this year, and I didn't really like that movie too much. And then they just don't have a whole bunch on there. One little side note, I forgot to mention this, on Peacock, they do have Marry Me, which was a pretty big thing, and I didn't like it that much, but I know a whole bunch of people sort of enjoyed it enough, so, but back to Hulu. Hulu, they don't have a humongous amount of stuff. They had Sex Appeal, which came on there, and I thought that was fine. They haven't had that amazing movie yet, or that main thing that everybody's talking about, like, you gotta check out Hulu, it's got this on it, but it's just Hulu has live sports, and that's all everybody's talking about. But they do have a pretty good catalog. They're higher than most other streaming services, and I enjoy them every once in a while, but they're not absolute, like, you need to check this out now. Okay, now we have the two ones here, the two streaming services that they're sort of medium. They could be amazing, they could be get down, but we have Prime Video versus HBO Max. And just starting off here with Prime Video, I think they've got some great content on there. Last year they came out with the Tomorrow War, which I loved. They put out Invincible, second favorite show that year. Possibly might be my favorite on rethinking, but still, I loved it. And they've got, what was it called? They had the superhero show. Oh, yeah, The Boys. I forgot the name for a bit there, but I haven't checked it out, but everybody's talking about The Boys. They seem to have a darker sort of feeling for movies, Paramount Plus with Invincible and The Boys, and now they got the Rings of Power coming out on there. So they have a bunch of stuff going on there. Some of it's good, some of it's really good, and some of it's not too good, but they got a bit of a mix of everything. But they did have some really good content on there that I enjoyed. Their setup, I would say, and this is one that I'm probably going to have to comment on, the setup, it's just fine. I find it a bit confusing because you might pay for something and get the wrong thing, but I think it's fine. There's some stuff, it's sort of mixed for me because some of the stuff I love and some of the stuff it's just like, nope. Another thing for Paramount Plus that I forgot to mention, The Big Nate Show, that came out on Paramount Plus, and checked it out, and it was horrible, so another thing not going for Paramount Plus. And then as we get here to HBO Max, I would say that HBO Max is a pretty good streaming service, as they just bought a bunch of stuff, and they've also had HBO stuff, like they had Game of Thrones. Everybody calls it like the best show ever. I haven't seen it, but I've heard a ton of great things about it. And then they bought the DC, they bought anime stuff, they bought they had Dune on there. They just have a ton of stuff on there now, and that's sort of pushing it up. They also had Peacemaker on there, best thing that's come out of 2022 so far. And so HBO Max, they got some potential right here. The only thing is their catalog right now isn't the greatest. They got DC movies, and then they also have like the anime stuff, and then they got Game of Thrones. They have potential in the future because they're coming out with like a Game of Thrones prequel thing, which I haven't even seen Game of Thrones, so we'll see with that. They also have a bunch of DC stuff planned. They have, they got Peacemaker on there, which I loved. And then you also have like the Suicide Squad's on there. Zack Snyder's Justice League came out on there. You have a bunch of DC stuff. So HBO Max, it's still got potential, and with all this stuff, it's got, I'm pretty sure Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them 3, The Crimes of Grindelwald, that's going to be coming on HBO Max 45 days after it comes in theaters. Same thing with The Batman, it's coming on this month sometime. So just, you have a great catalog of movies coming in from the theaters, and then also a pretty good catalog. So great streaming service, definitely in top 3, but now we get to the big one. Disney Plus faces Netflix. The two big ones that I always have and I'm watching stuff on constantly. And I was considering just doing a video on YouTube. On Netflix. But then I thought we could do a little battle here. So, first talking about Disney Plus. Disney Plus is the newest streaming service. It's been around, I think, like 3 years now. I've only had it for 2 years. And first thing first, they have Marvel, they have Star Wars, they have all the old Disney movies, they have the new Disney movies, and they have Pixar. They have an amazing catalog right off the bat. Like, you have every Marvel movie except for the Spider-Man movies and Incredible Hulk. You have every Star Wars thing ever. You have a bunch, everything Pixar. You have all the old Disney movies, hundreds of movies there, and then you have everything else that's a Disney movie that you sort of forgot about, like the National Treasure movies. And right now they got Moon Knight going on there. So Disney Plus is one that everybody's sort of talking about. They had The Mandalorian, that's what really pushed them up. And then they had Book of Boba Fett, which people hated, people loved. Everybody was talking about it, though. They bought Ice Age, so they got a bunch of stuff going on there for Ice Age. And then they just got a bunch of stuff. They own National Geographic. Turning Red came out. They just ton of stuff. They did a partnering with ESPN Plus, and they got Man of the Arena on there from basically Tom Brady documentary. And my dad absolutely loved it. My mom doesn't really check it out that much, but there's stuff from my little brothers, my sisters will check it out. And then the thing that really sort of pushed this one maybe over Netflix for a little bit there is they put my favorite show of all time, Daredevil, and all the Netflix Disney Plus shows, Netflix original Marvel shows on Disney Plus. And it sort of pushed me over. I'm like, yikes. Did Netflix finally overtake Disney? No, did Disney finally overtake Netflix? Because that was my absolute favorite show of all time, and they took it from Netflix and put it on Disney Plus. It's just like, yikes. I'm so used to it showing the Netflix thing, and when you have the intros and all that, so just, yikes, Disney Plus. But when we're talking about the original content, they had WandaVision, Falcon the Winter Soldier, Loki, Hawkeye, Mandalorian, and Bad Batch all on there. They also have the Pixar movies coming out on there. But if you're excluding everything that is big name, like Pixar, Marvel, and Star Wars, what did they got on there? They came out with Better Nate Than Ever this year. I think that's one of their only original movies other than Wild Buck. Ice Age: The Adventures of Wild Buck, my least favorite animated movie of the year so far. They also came out with, as I mentioned, Better Nate Than Ever, which pretty bad musical. I didn't like it too much. It wasn't horrible, but I didn't like it too much at all. And then I think that's all that's come out on Disney Plus so far for like originals. And they don't have a whole bunch of originals coming out. And their originals, other than Marvel, Star Wars, and Pixar, aren't usually too good. Like, name one thing on Disney Plus that's good that isn't Marvel, Star Wars, or Pixar. And one thing that I can say, they came out with Clouds in 2020, and I enjoyed that enough. But other than that, if I'm looking at like what came out last year from them and what came out this year, other than Star Wars, Marvel, and Pixar, they don't really have a bunch. Let me check. What was my favorite movie that came out of Disney Plus a Disney Plus original in 2020? I'm just going to do a little check here. Well, in 2021, let's check. Okay, I checked in. My favorite Disney Plus original last year was actually Die or Wimpy Kid. That wasn't Marvel, Star Wars, or Pixar. So, yeah, their stuff isn't exactly the absolute best, and I just got finished watching Scrat Tales from their stuff. Their originals aren't the best, but they do have an amazing catalog of stuff, so that really does push them up. And that'll bring us to Netflix, which Netflix has been around the longest. It's had the most stuff on it. It's been, I think, the number one that everybody goes to if you're talking about a streaming service. And Netflix just comes out with a lot of good movies. So I'm just going to do a breakdown of what the movies that I've seen so far this year recently from Netflix. Starting us right off, the worst movie that I've seen from Netflix so far this year would be Brazen. This is absolutely the worst movie of the year. It's horrible. It's a horrible, it's a mystery romance, and I really did not like it. Other movies on Netflix, Tall Girl 2. I'm just gonna admit it, Netflix doesn't exactly have the greatest movies of all time for some of these. They've also had some, like, fine movies. They had Royal Treatment, fine. It's a sort of generic movie. Munich Edge of War, interesting, but I didn't care for it too much. And then they also had this movie called Home Team, which came out in January. I thought it was fine. I had some fun with it. Windfall just came out last month. I enjoyed Windfall. It was interesting. They just have so much going on. The Tinder Swindler, a movie about this guy who's making hundreds of thousands of dollars off of women on Tinder. And then you also have The Bubble, which I just came out this month and is about these people inside of filming a movie during quarantine. I had a ton of fun with it. I know a whole bunch of people won't. And then you also have The Adam Project, a big movie that everybody was sort of talking about for that month with Ryan Reynolds and Mark Ruffalo. I enjoyed it quite a bit. And then you also have this movie called Apollo 10.5, which came out and is about the 60s and moon travel, and I really enjoyed that. And so Netflix has a ton of original content. Their back catalog is fairly good, but then when Disney Plus took Daredevil off, it sort of just sung like, eesh, this is closer than I thought it would be. Because Netflix has always been my number one, but right now, you don't really know. But they still have Cobra Kai, and I've been going through and I'm watching Stranger Things for the first time. So it's just interesting going through all their catalog, sort of catching up. Umbrella Academy is another thing that I'm going to just have to catch up on for Netflix stuff. So they have a ton of stuff coming out every single day. Last year they had Squid Games, they have The Flash, they have Arrow on there. They have a ton of stuff on there. But still, you have that thing where Disney Plus has a giant catalog of movies everywhere. So it's really tough with these two. So I just wanted to make this video to do that. But for our final ranking here for all our streaming services, I am actually going to put Peacock in last place here. They have fairly good... No, you know what? Nope, I'm putting Apple TV Plus in last place. I'm sorry, but I only saw one thing on there, and there isn't much that interests me on Apple TV Plus. So Apple TV Plus is going to come in last. And then I guess next place would be Peacock in 7th place. And then you would have Paramount Plus. I'm still putting it on 6th place. It's still bottom 3, but Halo show, if they keep doing stuff like the Halo show, maybe it'll move up a bit more. I'm thinking I'm going to put, this is harder. I'm going to put Hulu in 5th place because of their nice catalog. And then 4th place is going to be Prime Video because of their great catalog. 3rd place here is going to be HBO Max. If they get a bit more original content, then they could move up a bit more. But now Disney Plus faces Netflix. I'm still going to have to put Netflix on top. They keep coming out with so much stuff, and I still enjoy them the most. Disney Plus almost took over them for a little bit there, because Disney Plus, although it doesn't have the best stuff, at least it doesn't have, like, my least favorite movie of last year was a Netflix movie. So far, my least favorite movie of this year is a Netflix movie. But they also have some amazing stuff on there. So, quite a bit of conflict going on here with all these different streaming services. Leave your comments down below, your thoughts on streaming services in general, what you use, what you think is the best. I just made this video because we live in a time of streaming services, and it's just something interesting to talk about, something new, and didn't really have anything planned for today, so just thought I'd do that. So thank you everybody for watching. I'm Brayden. This is Max Reviews. Like, subscribe to Max Reviews. Thank you everybody for watching. It means a lot. Thank you for getting the 72 subscribers right now. Brayden out.